get any ideas above your station. Get back to where you belong. Roof monkey, truth monkey, tattoo monkey, very funky. Roof monkey, truth monkey, tattoo monkey, very funky. Garden monkey, love the plants. Garden monkey, hate the ants. Too much monkey business. And too much monkey business. Hey, too much monkey business for me to be involved in. Echo monkey, garden ship, echo monkey, very hip. Travel monkey, get a map, unravel monkey, take a nap. Too much monkey business. Too much monkey business. Hey, too much monkey business for me to be involved in.
It sounds absolutely bananas on paper, and even I was listening to the brief and I thought there's no way we're going to be able to do this in a week. I can genuinely say it's one of the best challenges I've ever had.
The host family were a really fascinating group of people, really. They're really remarkable people. I was delighted to have been paired with them. The family went to an amazing effort, so they transformed their house into a theatre. So we had amazing fairy lights up in the garage as you went in, and then they got a curtain and they got a big board with the mystery play written on it, and we had a drinks menu which we could use to select drinks for after the show, and they put on an entire spread, and you had little tickets that you had to show to get in, and a little box office and a sign on the living room door saying auditorium, and they'd really gone to such an effort. They really went the extra mile, and it just made the whole thing feel really special.
I met the hosts before Jen did. I went in to sort of talk to them about the project and what it was going to look like, and for them it was a completely surreal experience. Half of them hadn't even been to the theatre before. Because it was a group of people, it wasn't just one family.
Yeah.
Or we saw 4 very different people with 4 different experiences, and because of that, it was important for both Jen and me to really create something that was special for all 4 people. Whilst being entertaining for their friends and families and so forth. So it was unique.
Let me take you on holiday.
Out there today. If you go out, make sure you put some sun cream on. I should start by making a little apology. See, when I started making this project about a week ago now, I had in fact intended to fly you all off to the Caribbean. We just saw Shirley Bassey, the Shirley Bassey, at Costa del Haven Court.
Home theatre has sat very comfortably really within my landscape in terms of performance and pedagogy. I spent many years studying Brazilian educators, the whole kind of conscientization process, the base communities and so forth. So I was very aware of the kind of hermeneutic circle, as they call it, of kind of starting from texts and kind of involving people and coming back with a fresh perspective. The theatre project in its essence is about drawing stories out of your host, reflecting their lives, and that is a very privileged position to be in. My host was absolutely amazing, not only in terms of the hugely rich content that he provided me with, but also his willingness to make this thing happen. I was also able to kind of involve his children.
Dr. Pangloss? What a crazy dude. What a mad adventure he takes Candide on. Jesus, I pissed myself laughing, especially at the bit where they had to eat the women's bum cheeks. I thought the classics would be a load of old boring shite. I never thought I'd be reading stuff like this. Pride and Prejudice? No way. There are few people whom I really love, and still fewer of whom I think.
The audience weren't natural theatre goers, and at least one of his friends had expressed a reluctance about, you know, she sounds a little bit kooky to me, Sean, you know. I'd hate to go in there and kind of, you know, I'd hate to go in and bring my bad vibes to it. But I did write to Sean and say to Sean, look, tell this guy, you know, I'm wearing my vibe-proof vest, and you know, I'm open to criticism, and he loved it. Actually, it totally kind of. It kind of confounded what his expectations were, and he said that the moment he walked into the room, which obviously we'd kind of slightly moved things around, not a lot, used Sean's artwork, we built a cage, added a few simple lights and stuff, so that, and taken the door off the room to create more space, and hung a black curtain over it, and Sean dressed like he's the kind of you know, the host and leading people in and so forth. So that was all wonderful in terms of setting up an expectation and kind of delivering something that exceeded people's expectations.
In the distance, he saw a light, an opening, a way to escape. He ran towards it, ignoring the watching eyes glowing in the shadows. He had to get away from that dark, empty cage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just over 2 years ago, on May 30, I was released on parole. And as I waited between two locked gates on that gorgeous, glorious sunny morn for the screws to cross their proverbial T's and dot their fucking I's, I could see my mum and sister through a small gap in the gate. Then Johnny Screw stepped forward. His magic key turned in the lock. Whoa, freedom! Oh! Oh, freedom! I've no way, no words, nothing to describe the primitive emotion that surged through me at that point. Let's just say adrenaline is a very powerful drug when it courses through a man's vein in such quantities.
His son, who is about 11, but who's a very fine guitar player, and I quickly picked that up, and he was very happy to be involved, so we had an opportunity to develop some stuff there, using what he already knew and pushing it a little bit further. His daughter, who is very interested in kind of horror writing, was very happy to write some linking pieces for me and did it very, very quickly. My host Sean provided me with an essay that he had written, which was called Meditation on Freedom, and it was a very experiential piece of writing, and he'll give me freedom to utilize that in whatever way I wished. He also had shared with me his particular kind of induction into the world of literature, which came as an adult, and surprised him by the fact that he was drawn to Voltaire, for example, and he loved the Candide, and he loved Dr. Pangloss. So that fed me with stuff to take away.
You know, I could be anything I wanna be. I exhibit my pictures in a gallery. I write a little book, and while I'm in the flow, I get my play on the radio. A crack house whore on the Radio 4 will have the agents clamoring outside my door. A crack house whore on the Radio 5. I'll tell you something, brother, good to be alive. I could be anything I wanna be. Interviewed by Wogan on the BBC. I hanging with celebs, patrons of the arts. They're such a bunch of wankers and a boring old farts. A crack house whore on the Radio 4. Tell me, mister, who could really ask for more? A crack house whore on the Radio 5. I'll tell you something, sister, good to be alive. I could be anything I wanna be. I got an optimistic philosophy. I'm feeling powerful, proud and strong. I celebrate the freedom with the freedom song. I could be anything and a thing at all. I could be anything and a thing at all. I could be anything and a thing at all. So why the fuck am I banging my head on the wall?
The family were very keen to have a piece of theatre that was going to be interesting for their son, Will, who is 9 and who's a massive Lego fan. And the first thing he said about himself was, "I like Lego," which was quite helpful for me. It's like, right, Lego play it is. And combining his interest in Lego with the family's general interest in doing non-traditional kind of experimental things, I thought, well, I'd like to write about a Lego person who feels like maybe the constraints of Lego life are not really working for them. So I thought I'd pair that up with this idea of kind of wanting to try something new. But in my head I had this image of this big Lego man, but then I thought, actually, I want to make it a woman, because it's all about that kind of doing something slightly differently, you know, something challenging expectations a little bit.
So can I get a beat, please? Can everyone do this? Yeah? That's it, boys. Everyone joining in. Well done. Here we go. You ready? My name is Barry and I'm here to tell you my dreams and my stories that will compel you. I'm talking straight from my noggin to your living room. See, I've been loving space since I was in the womb. And I want everyone to come with me to a distant, far-off galaxy. We'll take a shuttle into space. It'll be really ace. It'll put a look of wonder on your mother-loving face. And when we're all out in space, we'll see that we're not so different, you and me, that we all belong to humanity. And we're riding through all the galaxies. See, everyone deserves the chance to fly, so why don't you join me in the spaceship up high? Yeah! Well done, guys! I mean, people say to me, you can't go on an adventure. Adventures aren't for people like you. You're the wrong shape, or the wrong colour, or you don't sound right, or you don't look right. Well, to them, I say the only reasonable thing that any respectable person that's polite and well-mannered can say in those circumstances. I say... Are you ready? Ready? Now, what's your favourite animal? A chicken? Get ready for a chicken. Eyes out. Are you ready? Round the circle. Chicken's moving. Chicken's moving. And this body part, I'm going to choose its bottom. Do we have a will? Do we? Oh my goodness, that's excellent. Then we have a way, don't we? Coming up here, Will. Come on, give him a round of applause. everybody ready for this spaceship launch, yeah? So the first thing we need to do is to find out if they're listening. Now, how can we do that? Let's look up here. In my magic box, I've got something. Let's have a look. Can you see an orange bit of paper in there? Can you find it and get it out, please? Can you read what it says? Now everybody listen in your big loud voice.
Touch the person to your right on the arm.
Well done, Space Cadets. That's fantastic. Now, can you find the blue bit of paper and read that one out too, please?
Touch the person to your left on the ear.
You don't look silly at all. Everybody looks fantastic. Now, you hold that pose, and while you're holding that pose, Will, get in there. I've got a job for you. What I need Will to do is come up with a word. Now, it can be any word you like, and you can even make it up if you want to. What's your word?
Rhombus.
Rhombus. Wow! Check out that word, rhombus. So, here's what we're going to do. Whoa. Okay, Sam.
Here you go.
What have you got? Sam is coming on the mission! William, please tell me you're coming on the mission. You're coming on the mission. You're coming on the mission. Cut the cards, William. Okay, good luck. Whoa, you're coming on the mission. And tell me, this one's for you. And if you want space, house a bit, come down here a little bit if you want it. Have some space. Put them wherever you want. Everybody got one? Has everybody got one?
Yeah.
Have you? I think Dad needs one. Dad definitely needs one, doesn't he? Do you think you could look after that for me? And that's for you to remind us where we're going, okay? So if you get lost, put that in your ship's scanner and it will know what we're looking for. And just remember, no matter what, whatever happens, keep on sailing. Can you say that?
Keep on sailing.
I really didn't hear you. Try again.
Keep on sailing.
And I think one more time like you mean it.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I just love this film. I think, is that all of us today? This was for my first boyfriend, Adam. Yeah, I know, it's a troll. It was our thing, it's what we were into, you know, we were into role play. Not that kind of role play, it was more like a Dungeons and Dragons type role play. Do you see a jar half empty or a jar half full? I mean, it's important, isn't it, how you see these things, really? I love children, I do, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it's proven I can turn my hands to most things, and well, motherhood can't be that different, can it? Hello? Can't be that different. But, you know, it's just, I hear what they say to me. It'll change your life. Nothing's ever going to be the same again. Ain't nobody's business. Nobody's business. Nobody's business if I do.
My name's Louise Mardenborough, and I'm performing in one of the Home Theatre projects. Got the script on, and we finished writing it at 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening, so it's going to be exciting. Just very much looking forward to this next performance in Patrick's front room. It's been helping cover up some teddies with a rug.
Welcome to Marbury. We're the House of Laughter, the House of Loved Ones, the House of Actors, the International House, the House of Bears. To Marbury.
To Marbury.
Oh gosh, this takes me back. I used to love this one. Oh, do you remember the dance? Remember? You don't have to do the actual dance, but you're quite nice if you just do the hands with me. Yeah. Oh, we used to love this. Woo! That's it, 3 years. Now you're on the trolley.
As artists, I feel that creating work can be a very selfish thing.
Yeah,
You know, at times it can be quite self-indulgent, but actually taking it somewhere completely away from yourself and giving to, you know, a pure piece of art to people who actually, in a way, have created it completely.
So it was a bit different. So I know some of our other Foundry members, they were kind of like, they drew the piece from their lives and like, but our 4 ladies were very like, we want a musical and we want some Cliff Richard songs and some Bob Marley, and that's what Farah wrote.
I mean,
so.
I was surprised that they're not writers already.
I had lovely hosts. They were called Tom and Mary, and I came round on a Monday night in the pouring rain, invited me into their cosy home, and then we sat down around the table and just had a good old couple of hour chat about them and their lives, and they were just really lovely, really open and warm and welcoming and very open about their lives, which I didn't know what to expect. I'd kind of written down some questions because I didn't, you know, you don't know who you're going to meet or how much they are going to share with you. So I'd written down some, you know, journalistic questions. I was ready to try and find. I felt like Jeremy Paxton. Yeah, okay, this will really get them. But actually, I didn't need to do that at all. They were really forthcoming with telling me like really personal things about them and about their family, and made lots of tea for me, which was lovely. And I sort of decided that I wanted to make a gift for them that maybe reminded them about their time in New York. So that was like my starting point. So then I looked, but then from there I was completely at a loss. I was like, well, what do I make from that? How do I give them New York? There's only me.
So look what you did with that hat. You put it in your head.
No, it looks great. Your lab cat's in here. It's America. Hey, so hi, nice to meet you. I'm your waitress for tonight. Where are you from?
Birmingham.
No way. That's an island, right? There's no relatives there. Is that right? No, say it
Sorry.
again.
Birmingham, UK.
The UK?
The UK.
Oh my god, I love England. Like the Queen and like buses.
And post boxes.
Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. 1 second. And your taxis, they're black, right?
They're black and
That's
white
crazy.
and yellow. And illegal.
We got yellow taxis. I only seen the black ones.
Oh, well, we have yellow ones as well.
That's crazy.
It's what it is.
Amazing. Birmingham. Oh, and I bet you like tea, right?
Yes.
And those little sandwiches, like in triangles that only have cucumber in them.
No.
Like, where is the filling? While you're in America, you should definitely have a sandwich. We do them real good. You know, we got one on the menu. You should try it.
I will try it.
Birmingham. No, it sounds familiar. Birmingham. You know what? I think we had some kids who used to work here from Birmingham. Yeah. Could you say, you know?
You know.
Yeah. That's exactly how he said it. Like, you know. So cute.
Yeah,
So cute. You know what? You probably know them. England's small, right?
Yeah.
So the guy's name was Tom, and the girl's name is Mary.
Yeah.
You know them?
I do know them.
Get out of here! Are you serious?
I know them.
You know what? This meal is on the house.
Also, I didn't want to play them necessarily at first. I was worried about, you know, because you're kind of depicting someone's life, and so I didn't want to kind of just come on like wearing a hat, hi, I'm Tom, and then him being in the audience like, bit rude. So I was a bit worried. But then luckily, Tom sent me a text message saying like, don't worry if you want to take the mick out of us, it's absolutely fine. And I was like, phew, great. This gives me complete liberty to do whatever I want.
You see, the thing is, if you don't get out of here, I got 18 guys in the back with baseball bats ready to smash you up and get your suit real dirty. He left. You should have seen Tom's face. Oh my God, what did you do? How did you do that? I said, listen, Tom, relax. When you're a cop in New York City, you gotta think fast. You know what? It's a shame they had to go back to the UK. I like those kids. The thing is, there's only so long you get around New York without a green card.
So I kind of worked from there, and I took some of the stories that they told me and I reimagined them, and some of the characters that they'd met, and I kind of stretched out what I thought it might have been like in the 80s in New York. So I did a lot of research about New York and the music that was going on there and the scenes that were going on there, and they spoke a bit about like how dangerous it was, and I kind of did a bit of research into that, and the colourful lives that they might have been living.
No matter where I roam, I go back to my English road. No one
because you're doing a project that's based so much on somebody else's personal life and you're performing it to them, you don't quite realise how like emotionally attached you get to it really, really quickly.
I see trees of green.
So Mary and Tom left New York. And made their way back to their home city.
For me and you.
They moved in with their parents until Tom popped the question. And they got married. They moved into a house together, consummated their marriage, and Mary got pregnant. Along came Grace, followed a few years later by Sean.
Dark sacred nights.
They decided they needed a bigger house, so had a conversation with a man a few streets down and swapped. After that, Lee was born. They spent their days and weekends with their friends. But never in the dining room. The kids grew up and had piano lessons. Mary spent time in the garden. And Tom looked after his ticket collection. Mary and Tom sit in the armchairs they've had since they moved in. Under the James Whiskey picture they bought 30 years ago when they were wild, young and simple in New York. They think about what a wonderful life they've had.
Start spreading the news.
Without so much production value, seeing something just created in front of you, I think in such close proximity, I mean there was like 30 of us crammed into a little cellar, so I think something about sharing that so intensely and in a small space is really special that you don't think you get all the time in theatre.
That was absolutely fantastic, Sarah. Absolutely. I was expecting I was excited about the whole thing, but that was beyond my wildest dreams. It's fantastic. So thanks to you for coming. Thanks to the rep for putting it on. What a great idea. You'll have to come back and do it again.
The Home Theatre project has definitely got a future in communities all over the UK, but especially those that don't have access to theatre or the arts. Like Jen said earlier, you know, some of the ladies that we met, you know, they'd never been to the theatre before. Others had, but they lost that contact. And I mean, for us, for our particular experience, you've got to consider things like mobility and ease and that access, you know, element. It's not easy for them to get up and go to the theatre. So actually bringing theatre to their homes and the impact, you know, it wasn't just those 4 people, but they invited their family and, you know, relatives, and their sort of joy, you know, collective experience as a family. And I mean, I spent the entire performance watching them come together, you know, and that kind of thing is ultimately, you know, how you can't, in my opinion, you can't ask if it's got a place. In my opinion, it definitely does, and we need to do more of that. We need to take theatre more, you know, we need to, you know, and art generally. You have to take it out to places where it's lost and people don't have that insight to it.
I think home theatre is really important because it's taking theatre into new places and experimenting with new styles So it's pushing theatre practice forward, but it's also encouraging wider engagement. So I think it's really important for practitioners and for audiences.
The kind of process was part way between being an animateur and a pedagogue, because I have some background in that, and the pedagogy of the oppressed, for example, which is a Brazilian model, and shares many similarities in spirit with what home theatre is about, and came out of the same kind of favelas and the same sort of poverty and the same sort of cultural aristocracies and, people feeling excluded from culture and so forth.
If you took a walk down Erdington High Street, you'd probably be quite upset by the levels of degradation and poverty. But there's some that will mock that. There's a blog called Erdington Honeys, which is full of pictures of people smoking and drinking and perhaps stumbling and falling over. And, some overweight people. And when I saw that, that really upset me. Don't mock them. The root cause is socio-economic. 30 years ago, those same people would have had smiles on their faces and money in their back pocket, what with all the factories that were alive around here. Don't mock them. Don't treat them as the scourge of our society, because you're all looking in the wrong places. Yeah, they may not be the finest characters that ever lived, but they're human beings. And terrible things are happening to them. So attention must be paid. Attention. Attention must be paid to such people.
The notion of, finding, it's all based on a communication model, it's a dialogue model, it's not a banking concept of culture or education. So that kind of background made me feel very comfortable, really, within this context.
I think it was genius, to be honest. I think just the concept of giving people power to in terms of where theatre is, how it's created, and because I know it started off in Brazil, and then it was brought to London in terms of how do we give our community power in terms of programming and stuff, and I thought that was genius. And I was always apprehensive about thinking who's going to engage in a project like this, and to see, I heard stories about some of the most extraordinary people that the other Foundry artists had worked with. So to see all of the people that had got involved, I thought, we should do this more often. Should we do it next year?
Something's really special about making something happen right in front of their eyes that takes away the barrier of theatre sometimes. I think, people pay and then they come and see a project and they spend £5 on a gin and tonic, and they, spend a lot of money going to the theatre, and then there's all these lights and camera and action. I think there's something that was really magical and special about a performance being made right in front of their eyes in their cellar, opening up spaces and ideas and art in a way that maybe they haven't seen it before.
Could you help me hand these up? Uncle Ev, do you want to cuddle one? Come on, everyone, cuddle a teddy bear. It's great. Has everyone got a teddy? You can't trade. So I need you to all choose a team noise which will act like a buzzer during the quiz round, because the quiz is actually happening.
As always, where there's a really interesting dialogue, it's a very, very exciting and humanising process.
You've got to speak up and you've got to find your voice. And sometimes you've got to fight against things that are just wrong and evil.
I absolutely loved the project, and I loved what my host and his family and friends did, and the way in which they made it a real celebration.
It was just it was an amazing experience, and considering I didn't know what to expect, I genuinely think that was the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. It was amazing.